So this is the Coolermaster H500. It's a pretty big computer cabinet and takes up a lot of space on the desk. As you can see, I have a very small table about 4 feet long. So I decided to do what many would probably not think of even doing. Yes, I just wanted to wall mount it. Browsing on Amazon, I managed to get a nice wall mounting kit for a desktop CPU. The options are very limited. This one's called the InnoFit and it's made for some of the smaller desktops in the market. Let's see how this works. So this is essentially a cantilever based system. They have these flexible holders which you can move based on the size of your desktop. So it's a system where you have two metal plates which are connected with bolts. The shelves are movable. So based on the size of your desktop, it's easy to kind of have these two together and secure your desktop. So they can be wall mounted like this within a set of nuts and bolts that'll hold it in place. And once you fix this firmly on the wall, you can move the shelf on top and adjust it based on the width of your desktop. Right, so let's get an overview of this unit. So this looks really strong and it feels sturdy, and it's pretty heavy on its own. It also looks like it's a good brand because I did see a hologram sticker. So this cantilever support system looks very nice. It's got 3 pairs of bars which support the weight. And the extension shelf is actually held by 2 bolts. So this unit is actually suitable for smaller CPUs. This unit comes with screws which are provided for you to wall mount it. So let's quickly go ahead and see how these measure. So when the unit is fully closed, it roughly measures to about 5.5 inches approximately. And when you have it extended fully, it roughly comes up to about 9 inches. There's also a barrier on one of the sides which helps it prevent slip off or topple off, and that's about 3.5 inches approximately. Now with all these measurements, we have a bigger problem. You see, the H500 is a big case. It's as wide as 8.2 inches, and we have a much bigger problem which I'll counter later, which is the overall length, right? So the Coolermaster, again, the H500 is as long as 16.5 or probably a little more than that, 16.86 inches long, and that's pretty wide and long as well. So we're going to customize the stand and wall mount the H500. So let me show you how this thing works and what we're going to do. So I'm going to separate these 2 metal plates. So all you have to do is just take off these bolts which they've provided. And the nuts are actually pre-welded onto the metal plates. So we're not going to use them again, so it's not a problem. So my idea here is to extend the length of the plates by not using the existing screws. So I should be able to gain about 1/2 inch or maybe just about 1 inch by putting these together in a different position. Yep. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drill 2 new holes and use custom bolts and nuts. Let me quickly assemble the drill bits. Okay. So there you go, I've done it. Looks okay to me, but again, it's just too small, these two holders. But just taking a rough measurement, holding these two together, I'm glad to see that it's close to 10 inches. So that's wide enough for our CPU. So let me just go ahead and quickly secure these two metal plates together. Okay, this thing looks really solid. And then we're going to take care of the other problem we have, the length. I was lucky enough to find a wooden plank that is long enough for this particular computer case, and I'm going to secure this onto the CPU stand. So what I've done is I've skipped the part where I've done the drilling because I'm very bad at that. So I've actually secured the wooden plank on the metal stand by putting 3 additional screws, which again are fastened along with the 2 plates, and I've also put a layer of foam in between, so we'll come to that later. So once you choose a suitable spot to mount this on a wall, just mark it, and I'm using some post-its here so that there's no debris which falls on the ground. All set to drill. So as I mentioned, adding a post-it helps you do a better job, so there's no debris which is falling on the ground. Okay, the stand is finally mounted. It still has to be fastened to the wall, but just giving it a shot, and it looks fine to me. I just wish this was a piece of glass. It would have looked much neater and nicer, but for now I just had to do it with a wooden plank. I can always change this. So this looks quite sturdy to me. Still not very confident though, but let's give it a shot. Let's tighten these things to the wall. So it's looking good so far. And once you keep aligning this plank so that there are no slopes, and you just keep fastening it one at a time so that it finally gives you that strong feel. So I just wish this was actually a piece of glass. It would look much more neater. Also, the metal edge at one of the sides needs to have a little bit of foam on it, because this is really going to be dangerous for the cabinet, which has got glass on one side, and you don't want it getting scratched or hitting the metal plate when you're removing it. I'm going to take off all the cables and mount it on top of this. So just unsecuring all the current cables, and this thing is so heavy. It's easily about 12 kgs fully loaded, and you got to be really careful and have a strong arm or ask someone for help while lifting this up. You can see I'm struggling, and watch the plank. I mean, the moment I put the CPU on it, if you remember, I asked you to add a layer of foam, and that really helps give you that shock absorber feel on the plank, and you have this nice easy feeling when the CPU is actually hitting the plank. So finally, the CPU is on the wall, and I'm still wary to let go because I'm just scared that something might just snap and the whole thing might just come crashing down. Luckily, after some time, I just felt that okay, everything is fine, and it seems to be holding pretty firmly. So there you are, the H500 is wall mounted, and I really like the way the whole thing worked out because I had very little table space, and now I realized that, putting this on the wall kind of opened up some space. And this glass on this unit makes the whole computer case look really nice and looks much smaller on the wall as well. Let's go ahead and turn this thing on. Yeah, those colors are interesting. So I have a 3 monitor setup with a mic in between. Unfortunately, my Dell monitor is not wall mountable. It's a ultra sharp monitor, and it comes with a stand which is without a wall mounting option. I have a BenQ on the left which is wall mountable. And this is the view of the unit once it's wall mounted from the side, parallel to the wall, and the 2 big fans face sidewards. And there's a small gap which helps you get that clearance. That's because we extended the whole thing. Otherwise, the whole thing would have been sticking to the wall. Let me know what you guys think. So from a height perspective, the overall unit is about 6 feet tall. I mean, the highest point of the CPU will be about 6 feet. And I like the fact that you can just stand and stare into the computer case, very easily as compared to before. Here's the monitor. So now I just want to give you another perspective that when you're using the monitor, the CPU is not kind of hindering with those lights glaring up there, but it's at a different height, so it really doesn't disturb your work on the monitor. And that's something really useful, because some people might find lights annoying, but it's really not, because the angle is different. Like I mentioned, the CPU might slip off, or somebody might just pull a cable too hard, so you can't be too sure. So what I've done is I've added 2 holes on either sides of the CPU legs, the rear legs. And the advantage for the H500 is it's got a gap, so I just ran a wire across and I fastened it along with the wooden plank so that it won't slide off, or it won't just come off easily. So you can improvise and come up with much better ideas. And in fact, if you have some ideas, please do comment below, and I'll probably try and implement it. Thank you for that. The wires aren't really great. I mean, I just dropped them down, and because of the height, the wires automatically kind of group together, and I just secured it with some available things at home. Still messy, but manageable. So let's look at this from a different angle, and this is how it looks in the morning. Do let me know what you guys think. So with better cable management, this thing should really look nice. This isn't really a great setup as such, but yeah, it's practical for me because I got space, and it's also something cool to have the CPU on top. I think there's lesser chances of it getting dust in it, and as you turn off the lights and towards the evening, you will see that the whole thing looks much more colorful. It's very pleasing. If you have the right combination of RGBs and the monitor screens, you'd probably like it. So that was my short project. I mean, mounting the H500 on the wall wasn't an easy task, but it was really interesting. Modifying that desktop stand took a while. It takes about half a day or so to kind of get this done, but it's an interesting project. You guys should really definitely try mounting your CPUs on the wall. Saves a lot of space, easy to clean, and all that stuff. So if you like the video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. Thank you so much for watching rTech, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.